All right, good afternoon. This is Rick Smith at the National Weather Service office in Norman. It's about 1 o'clock. I'll start off with really kind of summarizing what we know and what we don't know about the situation, or I should say what we're confident in and what we're less confident in. We are fairly confident there's going to be precipitation. There's a lot of moisture. It's going to be streaming into the area. There's a system coming out that's going to help to form or start the precipitation and keep it going from Thursday night and maybe into as late as Saturday evening in some places. So we're confident that we're going to get something falling out of the sky over our area over from Thursday night into Saturday. We have a pretty good idea. We're pretty confident of the general timing of that Thursday through Saturday time frame. And we're pretty confident in the general areas. I mean, we know that just about everybody in our area is going to get some precipitation before this is over. Almost, maybe not every single county, but most areas will get some precipitation out of this. So that we have confidence in. What we don't know, unfortunately, are some of the most important questions that you probably have. We still don't know the specific locations. Now, to be perfectly honest, the way winter weather forecasting goes, we won't know the specific locations until Sunday, until it's over. But we'll have a better idea, hopefully, as we get closer. I'll show you what we know or what we think we know now, and we'll go from there. One of the big questions is we don't know exactly in each location where you're going to go from having rain or freezing rain or sleet, or go from having rain to having sleet, freezing rain, or snow. That's going to depend very much on the temperatures, and the temperatures are really the biggest question mark in this forecast. We'll get into that in a second. And because of that, we don't know accumulations. We're not ready to post a snowfall accumulation map yet. There's too many questions about, well, when is it going to change over to snow? How much of the precipitation is going to fall as liquid rain versus maybe sleet versus snow? If it changes over, the faster it changes over to snow, the more snow you'll potentially get. So we're really not in a position to give too much, even ballpark estimates of accumulations right now, because of that, because I wouldn't want to, we're just not ready to do that at this point. And maybe soon we will be, but not yet. So another way to summarize this is parts of Oklahoma are likely to see enough ice and or snow to impact travel, beginning probably as early as late Thursday night, probably into Friday is the most likely time frame. And some spots may get enough icing to cause some tree and power line issues. Now, we're not calling for a major ice storm or historic or anything like that, but depending on exactly how things shake out, some spots in Oklahoma may get enough icing to cause some tree and power line problems. What we don't know, unfortunately, is where those things are going to happen exactly and exactly how bad it's going to be. But let's get into what we do know and get started with some real information here. All of this hinges on the temperatures. We know we're going to have moisture. We know we're going to have something to cause lift in the atmosphere that's going to cause precipitation to form. What we're struggling with is the temperatures. Not only how cold is it going to be at the surface where the mesonet is and where the surface observations are, but even more importantly, in some cases, how cold is it going to be hundreds or thousands of feet above our head? And not only that, but how deep is that layer of warmer or colder air going to be above our heads? Now, this is a really simple cartoon graphic that shows, if it's below freezing all the way up, then you're going to get snow. If there's a layer of above freezing air somewhere aloft that allows the snowflakes to melt and then refreeze as they come down through that below freezing layer, that's how we get sleet. Freezing rain happens when we have a deeper warm nose or warm layer. What's called a warm nose, and we're looking at a sounding, but a warm layer aloft. When that warm layer is deeper, it allows those snowflakes that fall to melt completely. And because it's so close to the ground, it doesn't have time to refreeze before it hits the ground. But if the surface is below freezing, then that's when it refreezes on contact with car windshields, antennas, trees, power lines, things like that. And of course, if it's above freezing all the way up and down, then we just get rain. So it's critical for us to know where it's going to be above and below freezing aloft, and how deep that cold air is going to be, how deep and the cold air is going to be near the surface as well. Those are some hard things for computer models to tackle at this point, especially when we're dealing with 1 to 2 degrees of difference. 1 to 2 degrees difference can make all the difference in the world. It's a whole different thing if we get a lot of rain falling and it's 30 degrees where you are, versus if it's 28 degrees where you are, as far as how much ice accumulates on the trees and power lines. So these are some critical temperature differences, and that's where we are. As we often are, it seems, we are right on the edge of this, and it's going to be, it's going to be down to the wire probably until we have a firm handle on exactly what's going to happen. But those are the uncertainties. Really, our biggest uncertainty at this point remains the temperatures, where it's going to be colder. We're getting differing ideas possibly in some of the computer models. Some of the computer models want to warm things up more on Friday. Some want to keep it cold. So this is a tough forecast. The forecasters are working extra hard on this one, and it's not an easy one. All right, we just did this map. Randy just drew up this map in the last 30 minutes or so. You haven't seen this one yet probably, but I don't think it's on. Well, anyway, this is a brand new map showing what we're expecting from Thursday night through the day on Friday and into Friday night. And this is different than the one you may have seen earlier today. We got 4 different colors on here. The blue indicates, as of right now, where we expect that most of the precipitation in that Thursday night through Friday night time frame will fall as snow. And that's really going to be confined to far north, central, northwest Oklahoma, north of Woodward, north of Enid, northwest of Ponca City. This would be Alva, Cherokee, Buffalo, over toward Medford in that area. The pink shaded area is where we're expecting a mixture. There may be a little bit of sleet in there, but we're expecting mainly snow and some freezing rain in that pink shaded area. This would include Ponca City, Enid, down close to Stillwater, Clinton, Woodward, and you can see all the other towns there, Fairview, Watonga, Sealing, places like that. The orange shaded area is a new color that we added today. We are a little bit more concerned than we were this time yesterday that we could be cold enough all day on Friday and into Friday night where we could get freezing rain, enough freezing rain to cause some at least travel issues and possibly some tree and maybe power line issues. We'll see how that plays out. But that orange shaded area includes the infamous I-44 corridor, all the way down into southwest Oklahoma and western North Texas. The green shaded area is where we're expecting mainly liquid rain from Thursday night through Friday night. Now, as you know, if you've heard webinars or heard me talk about this, these lines have fuzzy edges on them. They are not going to stay in place. We're going to move these lines back and forth. They may move several times before we get to Thursday night. So just know that these lines are going to shift and move around as we fine tune the forecast. But that's our best thinking right now. We think precipitation will begin Thursday night, probably after dark, as very light precipitation. It could develop over a large part of our area. It may develop to the south of our area and move up to the north into our area, but that's what we're expecting. This precipitation is expected to continue off and on into the daylight hours on Friday and into Friday night. It may not rain or there may not be precipitation constantly at any one point, around the clock, but there's going to be high chances of precipitation just about any time during the day, Friday and Friday night. So in areas shaded in pink and blue, especially where we're expecting it to get colder quicker, that's where you would probably expect the impacts to start sooner as far as travel impacts, first of all. So from north of a line from Stillwater to Clinton, maybe that area I would think would have the highest potential to have impacts bad enough to cause travel problems. But you can't ignore the orange shaded area either, because if we get the temperatures are going to be at a more critical level there, kind of hovering around 32, 31, 30. And like I said, it makes all the difference in the world if it's 30 versus 27 or 28. The computer models, some of the main computer models really want to warm things up on Friday and keep the temperature going up. But this forecast this brand new graphic that you're seeing here is based on our forecast that we don't think the temperature is going to warm up very much on Friday. It's going to be cloudy. There's going to be precipitation. And if we have north winds, which we are expecting during the day on Friday and into Friday night, then we are probably not going to warm up very much. So that forecast is based on that premise that we may not warm up. Again, not to whine or make excuses, but literally a degree or two of difference will make all the difference in the world. And whether you just see a cold rain or whether you're stuck in traffic because of multi-car accidents. So it really is a fine line there with temperatures. Let's see. I'm looking at questions. I'm trying to read questions as we're going along here. Got a question. Can you elaborate on precip timing and type in Thursday evening for the OKC metro area? Unfortunately, not really. I think personally, I wouldn't worry. I'm not worried too much about Thursday night right now in the metro area as far as travel issues go. Precipitation could begin anytime in the evening, 6, 7, 8 o'clock onward. But for precip type, I would think would be mainly liquid for most of the evening hours. But again, we're right on the line with that. How much rain is expected in North Texas prior to freezing? Most of our North Texas counties are not going to have any issues with freezing and amounts of rainfall. I don't really have those. I know last time I looked, we were looking for potential rainfall amounts. By the time this is over, at least 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch, and some models had even more than that. I think the bulk of that in North Texas would fall before temperatures get below freezing. I know we got a lot of utilities on and people that are concerned about that. Wind speeds right now we're looking at probably from the northeast during the day on Friday and into Friday night in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range, maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, but that's the general overall wind pattern that we're expecting. We're not expecting big gusts in the 20s or 30s or anything like that, but we are going to have enough wind probably to help keep the temperatures from rising very much, which is bad news. Hopefully that's not enough wind to contribute to a lot of additional problems with trees and power lines, but that's what we're looking at, 10 to 15 miles an hour. All right, let's go into Saturday now. This graphic is new and just updated, shows what we're expecting on Saturday. Blue shaded area is where we expect this will probably transition over to mostly all snow during Saturday. The pink shaded area is still going to have a mixed bag, probably transitioning to more snow from northwest to southeast through the day. And again, that green shaded area, you may never get much more than rain during this event. So this is Saturday. Now, when is this going to end on Saturday? Models are not helping us out a lot with this. We do believe that, precipitation should begin to taper off by midday, maybe in northwest Oklahoma, and that could kind of progress through our area through the day. So by the time we get toward dark Saturday, a lot of the precipitation could be over. However, some model trends continue to indicate this system slowing down a little bit, which would delay the ending of the precipitation on Saturday. I would expect, given what may happen Friday and Friday night, and that we're not going to really rise up as far as temperatures go on Saturday, and more precipitation falling, I would think if where roads are bad Friday and Friday night, they're going to be bad on Saturday and maybe getting worse in some cases. Again, we're not ready to go out with snowfall totals just yet. This is not a 1 to 2 foot snow event or anything like that. This is probably, I don't know, more in the 4 to 8 inch range, maybe in the peak areas. But again, that's not set in stone right now. We'll fine tune some of those accumulations. I know everybody wants to know that, but we just don't have that at the moment. All right, I'm gonna stop right there, and that is all the slides, all the material I have. I'm gonna stand by for questions. I'm gonna watch the chat box over here, the question box, and if you have a question for us, anything specifically that you need to know or anything that we didn't address, please just type it in the question box there, and I will do my best to answer it. If you don't have a question, that's pretty much it. I'm going to send these slides out to you in just a little while. If it worked, we recorded this, and I'm going to send you a link where this recorded version of the webinar will be. It's not really for public consumption. I'm going to also do a quick YouTube video that will be for public consumption that you can share with everybody. And I'll give you, if everything goes as planned, I'll get all that done here to you in the next 30 minutes to an hour. Again, we appreciate your interest and support. We'll do this again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Let me look at a few questions here. Will this affect air travel Friday morning? At Will Rogers, I wouldn't expect so. I don't think this is going to be a big enough event that would, I mean, it could impact air travel if they have to de-ice and things like that, but I don't expect big delays from that. What time Saturday will the precipitation end? We're not sure. For the metro area, could be as early afternoon, but it could slow down and last longer. High school basketball tournament in Northwest Oklahoma. Any timeline on precip starting? Precip will start Thursday night and will continue off and on through Friday night and into Saturday. So precipitation could happen in Northwest Oklahoma just about any time from Thursday night on. Accumulation forecast, when will those come out? Hopefully, I don't know. We'll be looking at that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when we'll have a graphic out about that, but hopefully soon. Let's see. Can we go back to the Thursday slide? Absolutely. There's the Thursday night, Friday slide. Yeah. So that's that again. That's kind of a long period there from sunset Thursday until sunrise Saturday, basically. But that kind of paints the picture of what we're expecting during that period. All right, we appreciate everybody's attention. I'm depending on a lot of very hardworking people, forecasters, meteorologists that are doing the actual work here and providing this information. So we appreciate all the work they're doing and all the work you guys are doing. If you have questions anytime in between, you know where to get us. We'll be on chat, get us on the phone, radio, however you can do that. And we'll keep you updated with the best we can with the very latest information. Take care, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.